Your conclusion may just be that, well, that your God isn't real. Coming up next on Pastor Bob Daily. Well, there are a lot of things that people believe these days, and you may have been raised to believe some things that are not true. A lot of people have an agenda, and many times pastors, missionaries, Christian workers, Christians have an agenda. And sometimes it's an abuse of power. Sometimes it's simply them wanting to have the authority over you. Sometimes it's just their doctrine is so different and so wrong. And a lot of times we say, well, I believe in God, but man, it's hard for me to deal with this kind of God. And when they begin to explain God, it has nothing to do with the God of the Bible. And that's what I want to talk about today. You may be believing things about God that aren't true. And so many times people leave the faith because the things that they're believing are not true. Did you hear what I said? You know, it's so important that we really understand who God is. And where do you start again? You're gonna get tired of me saying this, but you start with love, love, love. For God so loved the world that he gave. Gave what? Gave who? His only Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's where you start, John 3:16. And Jesus was asked what the greatest commandment was, and he said, love, love, love. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. So that's where you start. And when you begin to build a doctrine, when you begin to see God clearly, you see him through love, love, love. Everything else is off track. Now, that's the foundation. There's no other foundation. God's gift of Jesus on the cross was an act of love. His gift was love. And folks, you can't get around that. And how do you thank him for his gift of love? By loving. That's what he said. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. And absolutely, I'm making it a little more simple than it is, but that's where you start. And folks, there are so many people that tell you that, just one sin and you're going to hell. Jesus died for your sin. They're telling you that God is right there ready for you to make a mistake and then he's ready to judge you. God loves you. He deals with you a little differently. And even some of you that may be listening to me right now are having problems with what I'm saying because you've learned other things. But folks, the gospel isn't difficult. It is a gospel of love. It's a gospel of freedom. It's a gospel of grace. And that's the God that I believe in. And you may be believing in a God that isn't there, that isn't a true God. When you describe his attributes, you're not describing him. You could describe me today as this really good-looking guy, and of course that would be true. But you could say, he has short blonde hair. He's about 30 years old, maybe younger, very thin, very athletic, very rugged looking. Would that be me? No. You could describe me that way, it just wouldn't be true. And it's really important that we know God, we know how to describe him, we know what to look for, and we know who we are living with. I know whom I have believed, and I'm persuaded that he's able to keep that which I've committed to him until that day. That's the God that I know. That's the God that I love. And I hope that you do a little better maybe at defining God. What God do you believe in? God bless you. Have a great day.